What's up, guys? Oh, welcome, Bono. Lock 'em up.
What you think about when you're born into a fire? Let them burn it out. Sell them to the richest buyer. They wanna let the world decay. They tell us lies and fade away, fade away. We feel betrayed. We were raised to lose the race. Wake at the back of the pack, we kill it anyway. Listen up now, because we're never dropping out. Beat the odds, beat the big house. The brains are bigger than the doubt. We've been thinking for ourselves, never let the truth fade away. This is bigger than ourselves, we won't let the world burn away. Burn away, we feel betrayed. We were raised to lose the race.
Restart Facebook. That was a good timer right there. Last beat of the song, then that was pretty good. I did that one all right, huh? Praise me, chat. Love me. I just want to be loved. So before we get started here, I'm gonna look a little bit different. Yesterday I noticed I had like some irritation on my arm. I knew it was kind of coming. So our mailbox basically disappeared behind a bunch of like trees and vines and this like English ivy that's everywhere from our neighbor's yard, blah, blah, blah. So I bought this like 5-in-1 tool from Vivor. It's like a steel weed eater, but it also has like a head on it that is like a pole saw and a hedge trimmer and all these other attachments. I bought that because it was on sale, honestly. And first chance to use it, our mailbox is being overgrown by this English ivy and stuff. So I get out there, I cut it all up. I have to pick up all the little pieces I cut up. It's not like branches. It's more like dead branches inside of, like an ivy, like a vine. Well, I saw some poison ivy, poison oak, something. I saw something that put oil on my skin. I just noticed the glisten on my skin, so I thought, oh, shit, I don't want to get poison ivy or poison oak, so I better go inside and wash off. Well, I did. And I've seen a bunch of tests. Basically, you don't need poison ivy soap. It's like a gimmick. All those weird cures are. All you need to do is use regular soap and friction, okay? So if you take a washcloth and some regular soap or even dish soap, anything that gets rid of oil, if you use that, why didn't Facebook not start? If you use that and some friction, you can basically get the oil off and never have poison ivy or poison oak or poison sumac or whatever it is. So I didn't used to get poison ivy as a kid, but I do now. Anyways, I did do that. So what I did is I went to our bathroom right quick. I scrubbed up. I used some pump hand soap, scrubbed up, washed everything off in the sink on my arms and part of my face or whatever. It was probably 20 minutes after I finished the weed eating part or the trimming part. Well, after I was done washing my arms and hands and stuff, I grabbed my towel was hanging on the door, the bathroom door. I grabbed the towel and dried off my arms and hands and face. So the next couple of days I was fine, completely fine. I was great. Then I started noticing a rash last night. And I think what happened from what I can tell is I did wash it all off and that worked because I know for a fact I had some on the top of my arm and the top of my hand. That's where I actually saw it was right on the back of my hand, like the oil glisten. So I don't have a rash there, but I think what I did is I didn't wash it all off and I got some on my towel. So now I was using the same towel, like we use our towels for, 3 or 4 days. We hang them up and let them dry in between showers. I was using the same towel and I think I got some oil on it and I've been rubbing that all over my fucking body. So my eye was swollen shut this morning. Well, trying to swell shut this morning. So I'm going to look different during the stream. It's not because I saw Bort naked. That's just a weird coincidence. But yeah, I do have some shit going on.
Hey daddies, it's me, the Linda Binda from TikTok. I wanted to make this video because I wanted to thank you for watching Cold Beer Confessionals with Will Bird. I think that's just incredible. I've watched a few episodes and I'm just like very intrigued. But you know what I'm most intrigued in is Big Daddy's meat stick. I heard that it's very thick, like a good old German sausage. Linda and her coochie loves that. Oh, never mind. Let's not go there. Anyways, I hope you have a good show and enjoy it as you can. There's a lot of weird things that go on, especially when it comes from the realm of Linda Bindaland. So, enjoy the show. Thanks for watching. Peace out.
Welcome everybody. I am Will Bird, and this is the Cold Beer Confessional. Looking swollen. Yeah, you can see my eyes kind of swollen. It's down here and right on the inside of, like I would do with a towel. Like I would take a towel and do this. It got my eyelids, inside of my nose, and underneath my eyes. Couple 3 or 4 spots on my head, probably, and both my arms, pretty bad. But well, that one's probably looks the worst in the camera. Can you see all that? Like here. It's very sporadic because it was probably on the towel and I was just rubbing it into my skin. So I made sure I got all the linens, anything that I had touched, out, away, gone, and hopefully be cleared up in a couple days. I sent a picture to the mods this morning. I was like, hey, my eye's trying to swell shut. Let me see if I can grab the picture. This was me trying to open my eye as much as I could. Like, I was literally like, and see how swollen it looks. It's all up around, this is poison ivy right here. And then it's all up inside my, and up there on my eyelid. There's even some right there in my eyebrow. That's actually one of the first spots I noticed. It was just a red mark behind my eyebrow when I made that video about bags of milk on TikTok the other day. There you go. I've got poison ivy, I guess, all over. Hopefully the worst of it's already happened and it'll start winding down now. We'll see. Anyways, I've got all the creams. I've got all the treatments. I think I got it covered. Ryan Upchurch is throwing a fit, having a meltdown, freaking the fuck out, which is nothing new, of course. We'll check that out first. Let's see. He claims that someone is trying to seize his assets. Seize his land, seize his assets. I don't know. Just check this out. So if you haven't seen my TikTok video, sorry, I just mentioned it. They get for like a few months in elementary school, they thought they could save money on cartons of milk by doing bags of milk. And to make the kids like it, enjoy it, and feel like they were cool, they're like, oh, this is how astronauts drink milk. This is how astronauts drink milk. I don't think it's how astronauts drink milk, but they gave us this, and it probably saved them a fraction of a penny on a cardboard milk carton. We only had them for a few months because immediately we found out we could throw them like bombs. You could fucking smack them on the table. You could fucking squeeze them. You could hit your friend with it and it would explode. You could throw it as high as our cafeteria was also our lunchroom. You could throw it as high as you could in the, it was also our gym. Our lunchroom was our gym. Throw it as high as you could in the gym and let it splatter and shit. So they got rid of them really quick. But this is a thing that a bunch of schools did. And somebody told me that our kids still get their juices, like they have apple juice, orange juice. They still get those in bags. But that's what I was talking about when I was talking about bags of milk. All right.
Start with, fellas. JJ, we'll start with you.
AJ Longhorn.
Since you pulled up with your Goldilocks hair the other day and was like, brother, I know I've been running my big mouth all week saying I'm gonna beat your ass. But now that you're at the gas station, can I pray for you, brother? You need to pray for you, you skinny bitch. I didn't know yesterday when I was at the gas station, Daddy was the one putting gas in your truck. Ain't that some running y'all's mouth for a damn year? Upchurch on Upchurch.
That's right, Big Daddy.
Upchurch is Daddy. I've been paying your bills, you idiot.
But apparently it wasn't even, he's losing his fucking mind, right? It's talking about people stealing his money and changing his royalties. He's in charge of that. He just spent so many years being a fucking child who wouldn't take care of it or even look into his own finances. He doesn't know how to do it, right? He always had his mommy or a manager to do everything for him. Then he ran those people off, and now he doesn't know how to access. He doesn't even have the email account to log in to see what his music royalties are. He has been ordered to pay damages to Kylie Rodney's family. I don't know that he has yet or not, but hopefully they'll get their money. They deserve it. He was a piece of shit to them. The other thing I was about to say, the bags of milk were apparently not our whole county, though, because Mariah went to elementary school in the same county I did, but at a different school, and she doesn't remember having them ever. So, weird. Your seats are about to make you angry as fuck. They really, really, really fucked with the wrong motherfucker this time.
You know what is so hilarious? I'm about to prove it with just the song we did called Prove It. Look at this, y'all. Oh, Jay.
Now, this is a song they did together, okay? And they obviously had some type of royalty deal. Maybe one of them wrote it and gets more royalties, or, one of them did more work or whatever. But obviously they wrote it together. Surely he's getting royalties from it. I would assume.
JJ Jonathan Wayne. Look, there's me and Kalani. Look how much JJ's making, and look how much me and Kalani's making.
Yeah, looks like you and Kalani split your part, and he got his 2/3.
Now, JJ, you fucking bum. Now, how the f did that happen? Well, I guess you won't be living at your girlfriend's dad's house for much longer with that percentage.
But Ryan Upchurch doesn't know anything. He doesn't know what it's supposed to be, who assigned it. Like, JJ didn't break into your account and do this.
JJ just plays outside in his wife's dad's yard, just LARPing and playing with cows.
By the way, one thing that he shows here, which I think is interesting, let me back up. See, this says song view status unreconciled right here. Ryan won't know this, but it says song view status unreconciled. What that means is that ASCAP, BMI, whatever website he's on, has not yet matched or agreed to the song's ownership data. So it's been submitted, but they haven't agreed to it. They haven't finalized the ownership, the splits, the registrations, or any of that. And it could be because it's missing identifiers or something. Something's going on. It's not finalized yet anyways. So I'm pretty sure no one's getting paid for this because it says unreconciled. Or at least that's what Google says. It has to be reconciled first.
How much JJ's making. And JJ just plays outside in his wife's dad's yard, just LARPing and playing with.
Unless they're coming to take his Adderall, I think he'll be all right.
Cows he don't own. You can probably buy you a cow soon, JJ, since you're making most of this song for some reason. Let's take a look at another one with me and JJ. Long live the South. Pilgrim Pelican.
Wait, what does that one say? We didn't look.
You're making most of this song for some reason. Let's take a look.
This is reconciled. So whatever this is finalized. That JJ Longhorn was ASCAP and Ryan Upchurch with a BMI.
Look at another one with me and JJ. Long live the South. Pilgrim Pelican. How much of that you getting, JJ? How much you claiming? 100%?
And 50%.
Born yesterday? Who's next? Broadnax. He been gone for a while, missing in action, probably in a hammock. So, hey, baby, he ain't had to make no music lately. I'll show you why. Look. Broadnax, me, Kalani.
All he's showing is that he worked with these people and they come up with these, whatever these deals were, right?
Bad Mama Jamma. Broadnax is Broadnax. Why? Who done this? How are y'all? This is why.
So it's hard to understand why stuff adds up over 100%. So I Googled this one time when we were talking about Ryan Upchurch before because it was adding up to like close to like 200% or, you know, something like that. It was weird. So some companies use a base model of 200% instead of the 100%, and others break it down differently. The way they break it down is they break it down into the composition, which is like the music, and you can own up to 100% of that. And then the recording, the master recording, which is the audio file, and you can own up to 100% of that.
You know, this is really interesting.
Allegedly.
Because it's funny that all y'all get in a group and go downtown, and you get on Instagram like, oh, man, Ryan's going broke, man. I don't know, nobody's texting, man. Something happened, man. Oh, poor Ryan. No, poor y'all, because this is all getting fixed. And I know who done this. You can think I don't, but I do. You think I don't know who done this? He don't know. Okay, I'll post you the proof of when I called BMI and went down there.
I'm not seeing that. I'm just seeing Wild and Taylor.
This poor customer service agent is like, I'm seeing the person that gets your money as your accountant. Yeah, makes sense.
Okay, yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, thank you so much, sweetie.
Yeah, of course.
It irritates me because I've literally never had a problem out of BMI, and they've been giving me the runaround saying, well, it's BMI's fault. It's BMI's fault. And I keep asking them, like, how is it BMI's fault? BMI didn't do anything. Yeah. And it's them. Yeah.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Oh, it's totally fine. I'm about to chap their ass for BMI and everybody else. This is embarrassing. It's all of them. Look, here's one right here. I'm the Waste, Chucky Velvet, Ryan Upchurch, Thomas Toner. Ready for this? Once again, the featured little artist is making almost 70% of a song, and me and the producer are having to split the rest. Just to
Oh no. Like, you agreed to this deal. No one held a gun to your head.
Error. This is Side of the Road with a big ass artist, Boosie. Everybody's at the same percent. Look, somebody who ain't a thief. All right, here's another one. Slang with me and Project Pat, produced by Stoner. Ready? You mean to tell me Project Pat is getting 66%, Stoner is getting 66%, and I'm getting 33%? Oh man, this is exposing so much. Southside with me, T2, Broad Necks. Look how much me and Kalani are making, 25%. And look how much these two idiots are making up top, 50%. Me and Kalani are making the least. I'm not kidding y'all, it is every song. They have changed it to where I am making the least out of everybody. And they're all on Instagram going, oh man, you going broke. No. People just doing some very nefarious things. And just so you know, this ain't no dumbass spreadsheet. This is the BMI website. This is no mistake. This has been changed to do this. Look at this. Don't Ever Die. Literally just has me on it. I don't know who the this guy is or this person, but there's Stoner. Look at this. 50, 50, 50, 25. Bro, I better not see y'all in public. Yeah.
Why? Because they're like, you agreed to this. He makes it seem like it's shady or that someone put him up to this. He has a manager. He has accountants. He has people in the industry. What did they do to you? Were you passed out and that's when they adjusted everything?
I'm not happy about this one. Next to Red. Thomas, some dude I'd never heard of, and then me. Thomas.
By the way, he's pulled this some person I've never heard of before, and he looked her up and he's like, she's a real estate agent. Well, go back like fucking 2 years ago in his videos. It was a woman who also sells real estate, who makes beats and loops and tracks and shit, that he was hyping up, talking about, hey, we got this awesome piece, blah, blah, blah. We're going to use this from this woman. And then he doxed her, but he worked with her 2 years ago.
Some dude I never heard of, me. Now, I don't know who the this is. I don't know if he played a guitar or something, but let me tell you something. This is Nashville where there's work for hires. You don't ever give a guitar player, whoever that is, 66%. That's
no shit. This is flat out embarrassing, pathetic, ironic, and everybody I talk about is about to be hated by the entire fan base. That's really fucked up. He tries to still throw his weight around like he's the king of the fucking fans or some shit. And if he calls you out like Trump tries to do with like the Republicans, you know how Trump is like basically like, oh, I'll support someone else and you'll be fucked if you don't vote with me, blah, blah, blah. He tries to do the same thing. He tries to control everybody by saying everybody's going to hate you now.
okay. So for those,
he also brings up his lawyer again. I know for a fact, I've played the video where he calls out a specific person by name. I can't remember the guy's name right now, but you'll see it in a second. And says, hey, and he calls out his lawyer. Hey, I want you to send a cease and desist right now to so-and-so. And he makes that video. And this was like in May of last year. And then in the summer, after May, he starts calling out his lawyer saying, I never told you to do work on this case. I don't understand why I'm paying for this case. Why am I paying for this case? We have a video of you telling her to send a cease and desist this person.
Understand what this is. So you have your writers and your publishers, right? You get paid off both, and the dates are supposed to match, right? Okay, now watch this. This one is correct. It goes all the way back to when I started my career. Here's the problem. When you go to this other one, you click it for the other royalties, it starts at
350 foot percentage cut.
So from 2014 to 2023, who the claimed all the publishing? I'm gonna save all this other information for myself, but I just wanted to prove to y'all this is why they've been running their mouth, because they all been on some.
So he alleges that people have been claiming that he's on drugs and acting crazy and calling people out and being paranoid and doing this stupid shit like he's doing right now because they were stealing his royalties and he didn't even know it right from under his nose.
For your brother, leave me alone.
Yeah, there's a bunch of stuff to it.
Hey, come here.
You can be listed for like fucking fractions of a percent. You know what I mean? Like tiny, and if it's a huge song, that's still money. Or let's say you only have like 0.1% in like 100 different songs.
Getting her done. God, it looks so much better.
This is the house that he basically destroyed at Ghost Ranch and then rented out to his buddies. And then when his buddies didn't want to work for him anymore because he had these fucking Coke-fueled, Adderall-fueled benders he would go on and start training out in the woods about how his lawnmower man cut paths for assassins to his house or whatever. Then he tried to throw him out, and he's like, oh, they put shit everywhere. It was horrible. They had a bunch of security cameras. Yeah, you told them to order. They had a bunch of lights. Why would they have lights? What are you trying to insinuate?
This place gonna look like a moose lodge when we're done, huh?
Motorcycles, I guess. Southern sentence. Hey, boy, what's up over there? Crazy part is, if you're from the South, you can probably tell what this says. It's not an actual language. If we wrote like this to each other, hardly nobody in the world would know what we were talking about. What's that over there? Yeah, I'm sure they'd have a real hard time figuring that one out. And here's his second video where he starts screaming, my assets is seized.
How are we doing today, Tennesseans? Your boy got something to show you.
Oh, wait, this might be about the farmland. Hold on.
Going to get a ton of attention because of what's in it. Timber Chet said, follow the money, catch the fraudsters. Whole town looking for fraudsters. And he was not.
He's like a crackhead Sherlock Holmes.
Farmers, landowners.
By the way, I forgot to tell you, I got a donation last night, so thank you for that. There was a $50 donation that came last night, right as I was shutting the show down, but thank you for the donation.
And watch this. And by the end of this video, you're going to crack a big-ass smile. So first off, the other day, I seen on the Nashville news where there was a farmer around here that was having this odd dispute over his land. And his land was being threatened to be seized because of some tax refund or something. And he had a financial company.
Because he didn't pay his taxes, you mean? Some tax refund or something. They were going to seize his land or something like that. Yeah, I know who the person is that made the donation, but the donation account was to a business account. I don't want to just say somebody's business on here. But thank you for the donation. I appreciate it.
It was handling his stuff from around here. And he's trying to get some answers. And I'm really curious why he can't get no answers. Because after what I show you, I think a lot of people are going to have to some answers. So here's what was on the news the other day. I didn't make a mistake. I didn't make a mistake. They made a mistake.
For years, Kirby has been asking for help to return a $20,000 tax refund he says was mistakenly sent to him.
Well, he called me right before I went on television this last time and said it was settled from Marshall Blackburn's office.
Nancy paid thousands of dollars in interest on that money he says he never spent or is having his property seized.
Because I've cried. I'm about to cry now. I don't know what I'm going to do.
I know what we're going to do, Mr. Kirby.
He got sent a $20,000 tax refund he wasn't owed. Hold on. Oh, Wilson Perry Kirby just wanted to do the right thing. The 76-year-old Coopertown farmer and retired Montgomery County Highway Department worker received a $20,000 tax refund from the IRS on May 10th of 2022, so 4 years ago. Money, he says, was sent to him by mistake. He tried to give it back immediately, even enlisting his accountant's help. Years later, he's still fighting the consequences. She didn't make a mistake. I didn't make a mistake. They made a mistake, Kirby said. Instead of resolving the issue, Kirby says the IRS charged him interest on the money he had tried to return and ultimately kept his entire 2025 return. Oh, I cried. It hurt me. The IRS has not publicly addressed the specifics of Kirby's case, citing federal privacy law. Kirby says he reached out to anyone who might be able to help. I've tried the president, governor, mayor. They don't mind asking you to vote for them. When you need help, you can't get a hold of nobody. Kirby thought that the fight was over when he heard from the U.S. Senator Marsha Blackburn's office back in May, right before our first story aired. Well, they called me right before I went on television last time and said it was settled from Marsha Blackburn's office, Kirby said. But the letters from the IRS kept coming. A notice sent in early July demanded the pay up of $4,300 in interest on money he says he never spent or risk having his property seized. The agency had already kept his $1,800 refund from earlier this year. One said it came from Utah. They're like AT&T. They come from all over the United States. This almost sounds like a scam. Kirby met with the IRS Taxpayer Advocate Services in downtown Nashville in mid-July. Though he says the visit did not move his case forward, the service is an independent organization within the IRS that helps taxpayers navigate disputes, and for many, it can be a valuable first step. Kirby says his wish is straightforward. By the way, they won't be able to seize anything without going to court, and a judge will straighten all this out. If this is what the situation actually is. It seems like since the IRS hasn't commented at all to even verify that there is a debt or that there was an overpayment, who knows what the fuck this is. I wish they would get it straightened out and get one person to work on it instead of sending these letters from all over the United States. The emotional toll has been significant. I've cried. I'm about to cry right now. I don't know what I'm going to do. The IRS agreed to contact Kirby directly after I pressed the agency for a response on his behalf. Additionally, I have connected Kirby with Nashville tax attorney who handles disputes with the IRS. The attorney has offered to speak with him about what legal options may still be available. So that's the full story. He got a letter that said they could seize his land if he doesn't pay what he owes. It's pretty much a form letter, but
We were going to hold these mother accountable. You see, because I also hired a financial company that's been doing all my financial stuff for the past few years. And this financial company's main thing to do with
this financial company did everything fucking perfectly, and Ryan's just a crackhead. So he cussed them out, threatened to strangle them, said that he was going to lure them into an ambush at his house, and they finally said, we're done, dude. You got 30 days to find a new person. We'll transfer all the files, but we're done.
was pay taxes. Well, guess what? I went down to the Cheatham County Clerk's office the other day, and I said, I want to know the last time that this financial company paid the taxes. The financial company ain't paid taxes through their little citizens portal since 2024. And for those of you that don't know, if your land taxes are not being paid, it gets to a certain point where your land will be seized and go up for auction. If you think they're paying it and they're not, then your land could accidentally...
That really just means they haven't, in Tennessee, they haven't paid for this for last year. They haven't, this year isn't due yet.
...be moved over into auction, and you'd be like, what the fuck, why'd I go to auction? Well, they weren't paying the taxes. Luckily, I went down there and checked, and it was an outstanding balance of like $9,000, so I paid it. Let me get this straight. If you sent your letter of disengagement and you quit November of 2025, well, I don't know how they're doing it, but I know for a fact that this is textbook crystal clear fraud. Now this is still very serious, and they're still caught red-handed, but this has to do with Texas. We got into all the real estate stuff that I have right here, and to anybody in cahoots with this company, don't waste your time trying to threaten me with lawsuits. It ain't gonna matter. Here's the cold hard proof. You're busted, okay? You're busted. And also, don't forget, you can't use anybody that has been to my house and that I have filmed on camera, be at my house, involving litigation, that I have told about you. You can't use them in court. For instance, like Womble Bond Dickinson. You can't use them. The jig is up. Y'all motherfuckers are done.
Well, yeah, they can. Like, they can use a witness that you fucking told all this shit to. And by your own admission, we know you record all these meetings.
Doing this to people. You're done stealing people's land, and you're done with the people on the outskirts today. Yeah, who's a dumb hillbilly now?
You know, there was a thing on the news yesterday, News Channel 5 in Nashville. And there's this farmer that hired some financial company to do something involving his taxes. And
well, one of the guys I know that's one of his high inside source guys or whatever is that that crazy QAnon cop that was the assistant deputy, the fat guy that was on with Scott McKay or whatever. That's one of his guys. I can't remember the guys. Millersville. He's under investigation with TBI still. Sean Taylor, Millersville.
Something happened, and now apparently they're trying to seize his land. Interesting. You know, when you hire these financial companies, they have an obligation to do what you hire them to do. And when you catch them red-handed not doing what they're supposed to do, that's a big problem. Wouldn't you guys agree? I would agree. You know, I might have to go talk to this farmer, be his buddy, see what's up with his situation. Wouldn't it be some...
God, I hope he's going to ruin this guy's life, dude. It would be one thing if I thought that he would just donate the $5,000 to pay the guy's back taxes or whatever, or back interest, whatever. But he won't. He'll have this guy spun up on some Jews, Illuminati, QAnon bullshit.
Then wouldn't it be interesting if somebody around here had a video of a financial company, and you asking them a question about your taxes, and they can't answer the question?
This guy.
What gives me hope for the future?
Hold on, it's an ad.
My students.
The new students.
Students, men, women go into nursing because they genuinely care about people.
Nursing isn't just a profession, it's a calling. At the Tennessee Center for Nursing Advancement, we empower nurses across Tennessee and Appalachian Highlands through advocacy, education, and connection. Because your story is our strength, your growth is our mission, your voice is our future. Visit tcfna.org to unlock your potential.
With the Millersville Police Department now the focus of a TBI investigation, News Channel 5 Investigates uncovers new questions about the stories that Sean Taylor tells about himself.
It's the story that just keeps on giving. A lot to get to here at 6 o'clock. We're glad you're joining us. I'm Hunter Hogan.
This is one of Ryan's high-up insider sources. Ryan also thinks that Don Jr. watches his TikToks. He talks to him all the time. Like, he's made multiple TikToks. He's like, hey, Don, you're watching? Show this to your dad. They think they can fuck with me.
And I'm Jennifer Krause. It is a scandal first uncovered by our chief investigative reporter, Phil Williams. And
Phil Williams is a badass, by the way.
What you've uncovered seems to raise more questions about the police chief and assistant police chief's own stories.
That's right. Stories about the jobs he claims to have held in the past, stories about the retaliation he claims to have faced, stories that continue to raise questions about whether Millersville's conspiracy cop should have a gun and a badge.
Pucker factor's starting to get a little high. I'm afraid I got a damn Ford team sitting out here in the curtilage with a damn painting my place with a laser.
In Sean Taylor's mind, he's been onto a vast international conspiracy involving some of the country's most powerful politicians.
We are getting closer and closer and closer to taking the deep state down.
A discovery, he claims, that has continually put a target on his back.
And every time that I will go to an agency and start digging, they will always, as soon as I start showing them everything, they shut me down.
Which is why the assistant police chief says he has had trouble keeping a job.
You don't become a gypsy cop going from agency to agency. You don't do it. It's bad.
They had a bunch of citizens come in and some weird fucking child trafficking roundup thing. It was very strange. Like not professional at all. I'm sure they violated a bunch of laws.
To the point that's what was forced on me.
As the well-connected bad guys he imagines repeatedly try to shut him down.
And if they can't get rid of
you, oh, that was Chaz. You guys remember Chaz? That's Chaz from the PPN that gave Mike Penny his own channel and shit. When Mike Penny left YouTube, Rumble, and everything, he started broadcasting on Patriot Power Network or something.
Him down.
And if they can't get rid of you, then they'll have the district attorney come after you.
But our News Channel 5 investigation
Patriot Street Sweeper
has left a trail of questions throughout his career. His Facebook page claims he once worked at the Williamson County Sheriff's Department. The agency says it has no record of him. On this job application, Taylor claimed he worked at the Hickman County Sheriff's Department as a deputy sheriff and chief jail administrator. Hickman County officials say he was only a correctional officer.
I mean, literally, I was wrote up one time in my...
Everybody pads their resume. I'm not sure if that's great if you're in law enforcement, though.
Entire 25-year career and given a 2-day suspension for a pursuit that went from my location to downtown Nashville because it got caught on Sky 5 traffic and ended up being some boys that had carjacked some people.
In fact, records show Taylor nearly got fired from the Columbia Police Department in 2009 following a complaint by a woman he was pursuing while he was married. The woman claimed he continued to call and send her text messages over her objections, even calling her an in-lover because she was friends with an African-American officer.
Wow.
Concluded he was guilty of harassment, stalking, and criminal trespassing. Taylor initially denied the allegations, then he worked out a deal for a 10-day suspension.
It's no secret. I was no angel when I was younger, and I'm not going to hide for it. My God, my Lord Jesus Christ, He knows what I've done.
In a recent interview with right-wing podcasters, the Millersville assistant police chief seemed to acknowledge that our investigation would turn up some unsavory parts of his past. But it's not just what Sean Taylor has done in the past. We also uncovered questions about the bizarre stories he continues to tell about the people who he thinks will do whatever it takes to stop his investigations.
Yeah, we'd like to talk to you about some of your conspiracy theories.
All right, well, have a good day.
Taylor has refused to answer any of our questions about his wild conspiracy theories, but one of his favorites stems from a few months was when he worked for this tiny police department in West Tennessee.
Literally had somebody show up to my house, warn me, and literally a week later today, I was involved in a head-on collision.
There, Taylor claims he got so close to the truth about the conspiracy he was investigating that, as he describes it, someone decided to take him out.
I was literally warned several times, and within a week of being warned one time, I was hit head-on in a car crash and survived that.
But we dug up the accident report from that crash, and it showed that instead of being a deliberate hit, the other driver ran a stop sign. Both vehicles swerved to avoid each other before colliding, and Taylor did not show any signs of incapacitating injuries. Yet, as he tells it,
it took me out for about a year and a half.
Again, we got his personnel file, and it shows that several months after the crash, Taylor suddenly left a note with his badge and keys. The note said his grandmother was ill. Taylor had given no notice of his desire to quit and would not respond to calls or emails.
Sean, it looks like you're prepared for something. What's up here?
Then in fall 2022, Taylor's story took another strange turn as he claimed his life was in danger from the conspiracies he had figured out.
It would not surprise me if we get one of these tonight.
Oh, brother. Let me tell you, I've had a white van sitting in my cul-de-sac 2 days in a row. That's no joke.
A few months later, again, this was before he was hired at Millersville, Taylor reported that someone had shot up his house. According to a police report, Taylor suggested he may have been targeted because he has proven that numerous high-ranking politicians and judges in the area are linked to money laundering and narcotics delivering and sale.
Are you seeing any of these pictures?
Yeah.
And they came through cabinets, came through walls, exited. It was an attempt to scare. It was an attempt to say, hey, you need to shut up.
Back with his QAnon podcast buddies, Taylor said the TBI was called in and he gave an agent permission to search his property for evidence. But he
also claimed someone pissed in his house or something disrespectful to him.
She went rogue and began searching without him present.
It's not. I said, you can pack your stuff and leave. So basically, I put her in timeout, right? So she turns to me, she's like, well, I want to see who you're going to get to solve this.
Which feeds back into his bizarre conspiracy theories.
Now, you can't trust the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation. We have people that I've talked about on the shows that are former Tennessee Bureau of Investigation. We know where it goes.
The TBI says Sean Taylor's complaint about the shooting at his house remains under investigation. Will it turn out to be a real threat or just another of his conspiracies? And what's strange, more strange about the story that involved the reported shooting at Taylor's house, there were no witnesses. Apparently no one caught it on home security cameras, and whoever fired the shots did not leave behind any shell casings that might have been used to help investigators tie it to a specific gun.
Interesting, and so many questions. I know you have tried repeatedly, many times, to talk to Sean Taylor, Millersville Police, to get them to tell their side of the story. I assume still no luck?
Yeah, I reached out to them more than 72 hours ago, and as usual, have not heard back.
There you go. That's one of Ryan's sources, but let's go back to Ryan's video.
So you ask them another question, they can't answer that question. Wouldn't it be funny if someone had a video of them looking at someone being like, you know, I can put you in prison? And wouldn't it be funny if that person had a video of going to the government office in town and finding out, hey, the financial company's got their financial tax address on your documents, but they ain't paid no taxes since 2024. That sounds like a big problem. What if these financial companies and some of these, you know, people got law occupations around here, what if
So in Tennessee, or at least where I'm at, usually around October is when you get your form and stuff. That's when I have to go down there and do my, I have to apply for my forgiveness for my property taxes or whatever where I'm a disabled veteran. Anyways, it's around October, and then you have until that following end of April to pay it. And they quit representing him in February of 2026, so they wouldn't have paid his taxes for 2025. And his 2026 taxes aren't due until, like, it sounds pretty fucking normal.
they were using the system to fraudulently incriminate people and do stuff to get your land tied up? Like, you know, if you don't pay your land taxes and you don't know about it, your property can go up for auction. Good thing I went and paid my taxes yesterday from 2024 to now. When land taxes were like $11,000. Yeah, no. Like,
wait, in the last video, you said it's $9,000.
Like, what the f***? Like, why hasn't it been paid? Because, you know, there's somebody supposed to be paying this at the moment, but they didn't. You know,
the last video, you said $9,000. How'd it go to $2,000 up and just making a new video?
It's funny that we've been seeing this on the news about fraud and stuff, and then we've been also seeing stuff about real estate fraud and tax fraud, and then they're like, well...
He also had this weird meltdown where he accused his mom of buying houses and not telling him, and she was letting people live in them for free, giving them away like Oprah.
Companies that were being hired were supposed to do it, and they weren't doing it, and the company gets in trouble.
Scott Rogers is just, he doesn't change. He doesn't age. He doesn't improve himself. Nothing ever happens. He's like a stump.
It was a big deal, you know what I mean? Big deal. It would really suck if somebody around here had all the information on how they're doing it. Just laid right out there like, whoo, clear as fuck. Look what they did, dog. So anyway, to that farmer, if you're watching this, if you want to have a talk, I'd love to have a talk, because I think maybe the same kind of thing was happening around on my side of town. They didn't want me dead right now. Too large living on the edge of town. Say they love me, but they tend to pull me down. Music City made a killing, the kind no one remembers. You know why I'm a problem, old son? 'Cause I pay attention. And I be doing documenting. Yeah, you try to lock my land up. Yeah, you try to seize my assets. I dare you, bitch. When the farmers start talking, you should be scared. We got tractors that can lift you in the air. We ride around with our AR-15s. Ain't no California, some bitch will steal nothing from me. When you see a farmer, remember we're bona fide.
Ain't no California son of a bitch. That's where Cali Rodney's people are from.
If you see a big old John Deere rolling down the street, you should be terrified. You know, anybody can say whatever they want, but they got to have proof of what they're saying. You know? So look, let me show you proof of what I'm saying. So I went down to the office down here where you pay your land taxes, and I said, can you print me off the last time the financial company paid these taxes for me? The one that quit about 6 months ago. 6 months ago, right? She said, yeah. Well, here's the last time they paid that. Yeah, that 2024. See, they pay stuff through a thing called a citizen portal.
Well, you do too. It's a portal for the citizens to pay.
Computer. Well, see, the problem is that this person still worked for me all the way up until 2026. But the last time they paid it was 2024.
But you don't understand how taxes work in Tennessee then, obviously. I mean, I didn't either until I bought a house, but like you've owned houses for multiple properties for a long time. You should know how this works, even if someone's handling it for you. You should know the basics of it. In October, November. So in in spring, they send out forms that says anything changed, buy, sell, improvements, blah, blah. If so, and you check a box, they send out somebody to like adjust the appraisal or whatever. And you describe it on the form, what you build a garage or, whatever. Had an addition. And then through the summer, they send out people and appraise. And then in October is when they start sending out tax bills.
What do you mean? That's crazy. It's crazy that they had to get fired or quit or whatever they want to say. And you see where it says Upchurch Ryan cash payment? That's because I just paid them yesterday. This is only one sheet. I got two
$63.50 is what the front sheet says.
sheets. So between this time and this time, all the way up until 2026, they weren't paid. I had to go pay them in cash for them to be paid. Ain't that crazy? You got to eliminate the tax people to find out you got to pay your taxes? That's crazy.
You eliminated the tax people, so they stopped paying your taxes. They stopped doing everything for you.
You know what's even crazier? Look, here's what's the craziest of all. Well, not the craziest of all, but probably mid-crazy in this whole situation of doing documentation. So these people, when I started asking them questions, and obviously it's a good thing I did because they weren't paying it.
We just had a survey at the campground property, and they said we lost about a half an acre of land on the riverfront, just from the river frontage, where the storm come through and just eroded the fuck out of some places. We always had like a nice, easy path down to the river, grass. I mowed it, like it was really nice. Now it's some places like a fucking cliff. But yeah, half an acre.
The taxes, and their job was paying taxes. So after I asked enough questions, they're like, we quit. You. I'm like, okay, that doesn't really make sense. So they don't work for me, ain't worked for me in like 5-6 months, right? Since like January or something.
I don't know anything about appraisal. I would say the property really holds its value. And it's probably, even if it wasn't a campground, it probably holds a lot of value because the way it is like, I'll show you. So if this is the river, and then the railroad tracks go like this and cross, that's a train trestle, so that's a railroad. The property is like, you go out this narrow 2-lane that follows the whole river all the way up. It's pretty narrow. You have to like pull over for people. And then the property is now divided. It all used to be one piece of property, but it's now divided. So if we split this, if we split this and come over here, there's about 5 acres that USA Raft owns. And then there's about 5 acres that Nolichucky Gorge Campground owns. And everything else, all of this surrounding this, everything all the way around it on every side except for obviously the river is all national forest. So it's land, it's on the river. It has, you know, the improvements it needs. It has like fucking 8 septic tanks. It has power. It has transformers. It has a well and water and structures on it. But even if it didn't have the structures, it's surrounded by national forest and nobody can ever build there. And it's at the very end of a long drive. There's nothing past it. You can't go any further. No one will ever be able to build like a home here or a home right beside you or anything, right? It's all national forest. So it's a valuable piece of property just because of where it's at, I think. But I'm sure it holds quite a bit of value depending on the right person wants some like to get away from everything or whatever. Don't save.
But here's the problem, though. This is a major problem I'm about to show you. Oh, I know a lot of farmers out there going to be like, all of us hillbillies ain't stupid. Like they keep trying to tell everybody, oh, I'm just a stupid, dumb hillbilly. Like, if you don't work here no more, and you don't do my finances no more, and you don't handle anything about Ryan up.
Yeah, lots of cities are using drones now.
Any more, then
Ryan's got a fucking briefcase, by the way. That's how fucking Sherlock Holmes he's went. He's got a briefcase here.
Work here no more, and you don't do my finances no more, and you don't handle anything about Ryan Upchurch.
I feel like a nerd because I have to buy a filing cabinet, and I've never had one before, so I had to buy one. Ryan's running around with a fucking briefcase.
Any more, then how did you look? Look, and touch my name to it. But here's the problem. Look, they're still doing for me in my name, and they don't even work here no more. That was like yesterday.
Notice of determination. Wait a second. For Music City Magic Man Inc. Notice of determination does not mean that they went and did something. It means that whoever you're with, ASCAP or whatever, decided something. It's notice of a determination. You put in that you own 66% of the song. They determined that was a lie or that was the truth. No one else went in and did anything. It looks like back in September, articles of amendment, he separated from you, from Loosen Up. That's Brandon B. Loose. Brandon Lucy. This is his annual report for 2024. And then the company decided something.
This is a big problem, son. It's a big one. So answer me this. How are y'all still doing stuff in my name when you sent me a...
You had to be a follower to chat.
Disengagement letter. Per the terms in the attached agreement, please be advised we are terminating...
It's free. It's just like subscribing. It's like subscribing on YouTube is being a follower on Twitch.
Our engagement with you on November 19th, 2025. Yeah, who's a dumb hillbilly now?
They didn't. The company that you submit BMI this made a determination on one of your songs that has nothing to do with you or Be Loose. You're the dumb redneck. Still.
20 farms, y'all.
Fixing by 20 farms. He also did one more video. Let's see this. They're seizing all my assets.
Hello, how are you today? Probably way better than me since I have a whole crew of people trying to seize all my assets, and they're also trying to all my music royalties, so I don't have enough money to take their assets to Bort. But it doesn't matter. I'm going to show all you guys, regardless of...
I turn on a followers only chat because if people come in, pop in the room, and they want to say something, at least they have to give me a follow to fucking say it. They might unfollow afterwards, but that's fine.
Anything. Let them take all my shit. I don't care anymore. I know this ain't the kind of content you want, but it's the only kind of content I got right now because all these people are stopping me from going on tour, making...
Tell me he does not look like a goddamn crazed goddamn maniac. Also, his tits are getting bigger in his basement. Like, I don't know how you can do so much Adderall. Somebody told me one time, once you start getting so used to it, you can just eat through it. Like, even on meth, like, even after you've been doing a bunch of meth, you can still, like, eat through it and get fat. I don't know. I've never been that far gone, but damn, his tits are getting big. That's at least a C cup, dude. Like, I'm fat too, but hell, I wear clothes that hide my tits.
Music, and they're trying to tie everything up so they don't get fucked up. So here's where we're going to start. I went to BMI the other day. So this financial company I was with, Wiles and Taylor, never give me access to anything, right? So now that they're gone,
they never gave me access to anything. He literally goes to people and says, I don't want to know nothing about it. You just take care of it. He's a child, right? It'd be like if you made your 9-year-old famous, like that famous kid that did toy reviews, Ryan. If you made your kid famous, obviously you'd have to take care of everything. But at one point, they should probably learn some responsibility, right? Or at least learn, like, hey, if I get killed in a car crash tomorrow, here's how your bank account works, considering you're fucking 34. You know what I mean?
I was like, I'm going to go to BMI, and I'm going to see who has had access to my BMI account, who still has access to it. I'm going to kick them off, and then I want access to it. Well, guess who had access to it? Somebody from my management team. What do you know? And also, so an old manager and Wiles and Taylor. What do you know? Well, isn't that crystal damn clear? Well, who has access to Upchurch ENT? The old manager. Well, I wonder who owns Upchurch Enterprises that is attached to Upchurch ENT. This is from the fucking clerks.
Okay, so Ryan doesn't understand. People make corporations and then register them through registering agents so they don't have to put their name and address on it, okay? Registering agents and an address is not a person. That could be anybody.
Office, dude.
Registered agent Dwight P. Wiles for Upchurch Enterprises LLC, perpetual. It's member managed. Number of members 6 or less.
Dwight P. Wiles.
I wish we could see all the members.
Yeah, with Wiles and
AR standing delinquent, so it does not seem like it's active currently. Yeah, it says that the AR was due on April 1st, which is after they had already quit working with him.
Taylor. So those two morons are the only ones who had access to the BMI stuff, and now the BMI, all my music royalties are tremendously up because they don't want me to make money because they don't want me to take. I've been recording.
Now he says his royalties are fucked up, right? But he doesn't know what they were supposed to be. He goes on there and looks and says, "Okay, I'm getting 40%. That's fucked. That's fucked. What were you supposed to be getting? I don't know."
This on OBS, refreshing it for the past 3 days, and somebody is still adding and changing shit. Just to give you an example.
Oh, they're not. BMI's deciding, right? We just saw that one that was unreconciled. They're making decisions and reconciling this music so you can get paid, bro.
Example. Look, they're giving these people 6,666%, which is weird. Justin Stowers, 100%. Ryan Upchurch, 50. What's weird about that is these Wiles and Taylor were paying bills between Cynthia Sherwood, my ex-lawyer, and Just in Time. I've never been to court with Just in Time or anything.
There you go. That's the one, Just in Time. So there's a video of Ryan from 6 months before he initially made this claim that he's never had a lawyer work on anything for Just in Time. He doesn't know why he's been charged for Just in Time, blah, 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 blah. Just in Time basically made a fake iMessage and said it was fake. He wasn't trying to pass it off as real, and was inviting Ryan when they were in the middle of a spat to some type of music festival that he was going to be at or whatever. But everybody knew it was real. It was a joke. They were arguing at the time, and it was basically saying like it was his buddy Ryan, but he was kind of playing it off like it was Ryan Upchurch, right? His buddy Ryan responded back and said, "Yeah, of course I'll be there, blah, 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 whatever." Ryan said he wanted assist and deceased delivered immediately to Just in Time. He said, "Cynthia Sherwood, are you listening? Right now, I want you to drop everything. I want cease and desist. Send them right now. They're making up fake message about me. I never sent this message, blah, blah, blah." Like, we have a video of him doing it. 6 months later, "Cynthia Sherwood, you're stealing money from me. I never asked you to work on any case with Just in Time, blah, 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 blah." And it's like $400 or $500 or something. The charge, which you can argue, what lawyers charge is outrageous, but still, we have a video of him asking for it.
For Just in Time. So when I simply asked the question, I said, "Hey, what is going on with all this shit?"
100%. And you've got to prove it too, Q-Idiot. It says when you have a contract with these people he's bitching about, yes, 100% he does. And you've got to prove it too. So when we see like a song's unreconciled, anybody can go on there and say, hey, I'm claiming 100% of this song. They're not just going to give it to me, right? You have to send them documentation and data, and here's our agreement. Here's the copy of it. That's me. I did this part. Here's my photo ID. Here's my social security card, right? That's how they reconcile it. They go through and make sure that you are you and you are actually an owner.
They quit and send a disengagement letter because I'm asking about this exact thing. So then obviously I reply, I'm like, hey, why are you disengaging now? Since I'm asking you questions about my business. So why would the manager and the financial company?
I want to read that actually. Hold on.
Business.
All right, I'm going to try to read this. So this is when they wanted to disengage with him. He says, that's odd. I just confronted you guys about a huge list of errors, including opening mail to a P.O. box I have no knowledge of, opening alleged fan mail. Let me zoom out a little bit. It's too much. It's making it blurry. Opening alleged fan mail, talking about my business with an employee that doesn't work for me anymore, making cards in other people's names, which wasn't authorized, Zach on camera saying Dwight would go to prison for him, whatever that means. And now, so the guy said, I trust Dwight with my life. He would probably go to prison for me, dude. Like, he's a good guy. And Ryan Upchurch takes that as, I don't know, a threat. And now I'm getting a platinum pinnacle card in the mail, which furthers my skepticism of possible identity theft. Once again, I am the singer. I know nothing about accounting, which is why Brandon or Cynthia, whichever one hired you. So can someone please explain to me what it is your company services are? Also, where is the receipt for this $250,000 in taxes that I apparently paid recently, according to Zach yesterday? Why am I being billed for a just-in-time? Why am I being billed for a random psychologist? By the way, they told him the just-in-time thing with Cynthia Sherwood and that he had asked for that, but he would have to talk to Cynthia for it. Why am I being billed for a random psychologist? Probably because you need to see one. You mean to tell me there is no answer for anything? Why is merch being labeled as Bethany Couple? Her name's Culp. They misspelled her name. That's not the merch guys. You all said was the merch guys. Who is Tim Wutzel? Zach mentioned yesterday. Why are they getting paid? What is their role? I'm going to need an explanation for the way your accounting company has been utilizing my money. Once again, you're a hired accountant firm, hired by my ex-manager, the same ex-manager you continue to talk about my passwords and websites with. They got the passwords from him, and he was nice enough to give them those passwords. The same one that contacted your firm with Cynthia Sherwood and or Brandon Luce. So what's the issue on not relaying information? I see you're talking about finding new representation. What does that even mean? You have to explain what you're talking about. Once again, I'm the singer, not an accounting firm. You don't know what new representation means? Sincerely, Ryan Upchurch, the redneck, owner of Raise Hell Eat Cornbread Corporation, Entertainment, artist, comedian. He put Chad. He said that to Chad too.
So why would the manager and the financial company quit? Because I'm asking very simple questions.
Because you were talking about physically attacking them. You said that you were going to lure them into an ambush. Now, I know you probably meant like to ambush them with questions and record it at your house, but you still can't be acting all crazy, making violent threats, physical threats of violence, and then talk about luring someone into an ambush.
Probably because my very simple questions are a big problem to them. Not to mention, wasn't there a storage unit just recently opened in Upchurch Enterprises, LLC? I think there was. Not to mention, I caught these red-handed at my house, trying to put a whole-ass merch company in my pregnant wife's name. Deerdorf, your turn. So, Deerdorf.
Now, the merch company in his pregnant wife's name, I'm pretty sure that Ryan asked them to give her a job and put her on payroll, and they just put merch beside it, right? She was probably just collecting a check for doing nothing, getting paid, and they just put merch.
did you go at Wiles and Taylor's to sign these papers to switch that house into your name? Because your fucking house is under Blue Moon Entertainment, isn't it?
No, it's not. He's already been to the courthouse and checked this. Blue Moon Entertainment, which is one of his companies, gave his best friend since childhood a house years ago. And now Ryan's trying to renege on that and take the house back. Okay. Well, he goes on the app Onyx, which is an app a lot of hikers and hunters and people use for like, or even real estate people for like seeing who owns a property. And Onyx doesn't update quickly, right? Because usually little towns don't update quickly with who's paying the property taxes, so whose name's in. So when he goes on Onyx, it still says his company owns it. But when he goes down to the courthouse, they say, no, almost 2 years ago, this was signed over fully to him. You gifted it to him. You signed as a representative. He signed. We were all here. There's a notary that was here that signed. Like, you can't take your best friend's house away from him and his family just because he doesn't want to work with you anymore because you're a meth head. That's not good enough for Ron.
It is. See something about Blue Moon Entertainment LLC. By the way, TBI, I suggest y'all go down there and check whose email is attached to this. So Blue Moon Entertainment is registered agent, is United States Corporation agent.
United States Corporation agents. This is just a company that helps you build an LLC. Like someone typed in, make me an LLC on Google and paid the fees. The AR is delinquent. It hasn't been turned in since 2022. Annual revenue statement or whatever, I think is what AR stands for. That's probably about the time he kicked his mom out.
And then United States Corporation agents.
United States Corporation Agents, Inc. is registered Northwest Registered Agent, Inc. Yeah, that's how it works.
Is registered agent is Northwest Registered Agents, and Northwest Registered Agents is registered to.
He doesn't, like, anytime you look up an LLC, most people don't attach their names to them. It'll just say registered agent, and it's whoever they fucking paid to do this. And a lot of times it's like a law office that has like a paralegal doing a bunch of this shit. And they might register it to a UPS store or their law office or whatever. But there's people that just specialize it. Go on Google and type in start an LLC, and there'll be thousands of results. You go through there, and yours will come back as registered agent.
Registered agents. Are you serious? Now, keep in mind, these fucking who were attached to the BMI thing, per the person at BMI. The person at BMI has no dog in the fight. Okay? They're just looking at who's on the account. It was Wilson Taylor and my ex-manager, right? Okay. Well, whoever attached Mud to Gold Entertainment to some of these tracks or whatever, watch this. The Northwest Registered Agents or whatever, the registered agent is Registered Agents, right? Mud to Gold Entertainment is also Registered Agents, Inc. The same address and everything. Now look at this.
Yeah, they use the same company to register their LLC.
The principal office address and the mailing address is in Memphis. So when you look up this address in Memphis, look, 5810 Shelby Oaks Drive.
Uh-oh. What is it?
Look what it is.
It's a law firm. Yeah, they're the people who registered it. Like, I don't know what to tell you. That's how LLCs work. If you want to register an LLC in Tennessee, you need an agent in Tennessee to register it for you. I mean, you can technically do it yourself, have your name and your home address attached to it, but most people are trying to separate their name and address and assets from the company, right? A private person and a company. So you use an agent to like a middleman.
It's an attorney-in-law center. What the fuck? Yeah. Who's a dumb hillbilly now? Now that everybody has seen that, let's watch them seize all my assets. I wonder why they're trying to seize all my assets. All right, so to all my sleuthers that helped me find out what they did on the last email and the official Upchurch website that led back to Bobby Naklicki, I got another challenge for you. I need y'all to help me figure out who owns or whatever, like who owns Upchurch, ENT. Aha! Motherfuckers, you ain't fast enough. So, I just took a picture on the computer in my lawyer's office. It says that Wiles and Taylor was doing something with Upchurch Enterprises, LLC. Okay. They don't work for me anymore. We've already went through this. There's a letter of disengagement that I've already shown everyone.
Okay, just because they don't work for you anymore and they're not doing your work, they probably still have fucking outstanding liabilities and stuff they have to clear up, right? It's not like they haven't worked for you in like 10 fucking years and they just appear.
November 19th, 2025. I've already looked at so many times.
It's snuff.
Okay. I had an issue with them with the merch. They kept like saying all this stupid shit involving merch that didn't make no sense. I filmed them saying it. I have all the documents. Y'all need to start making sense.
Wait. These are just a bunch of things. I want to read them. Wiles and Taylor funneling money into a bullshit merch account and funneling money into a bullshit security account, listing off security guards that never existed. Sonny Bama, I see why you flipped your shit when I asked you about my Instagram and ID now. Now, this is all because Sonny was talking about unlocking one of Ron's social media accounts. He said, yeah, we just sent him your ID. And he's like, you got my ID? Oh, my God. He thinks they actually have like a copy of his ID, when in reality, they have a paper copy that they use to submit. That's how you get your account unlocked, to prove who you are. I've had to do it before. Tell us who these two people are. Coco Bridges, Jimmy Hargrove. This is who's working for him now. He's ran everybody else off. Ryan Upchurch Facebook, Ryan Upchurch Threads. Old Sonny and Be Loose attached this email to my account and took off the Raise Hell Eat Cornbread email that I always had. upchurchent@gmail.com or wherever.com. Meetings you and Sonny Bama had. I'm curious, why are all my social medias linked directly to you and this upchurchent@gmail.com? Email. Everyone involved in the sabotage of my career and the theft of my music royalties is going to wish you never fucked with me. I'm ready to make music and go on tour again, have fun, and their fuck shit is holding everything up. So he keeps saying the reason he can't make music or go on tour is because of all this. I wanted to see what number was attached, so when you act like you're going to log in to that email and click forgot password, it sends a code to Be Loose's number. New Be Loose, if he had that number saved for Be Loose, it was a yes. And last but not least, when you search the number, it goes directly back to Be Loose, Brandon Loose, and his current address. He lives at in Kingston Springs, Tennessee.
I'll tell you this, you motherfuckers ain't making it past me. I can see y'all.
He lost his shit during COVID, dude. Too many drugs or something. I don't know.
Pray for
he used to be he used to stop and chat here every once in a while. He made a $500 donation one time. Like,
brother, should have left me alone.
just a riding video, I suppose. Okay. Well, that's what Ryan Upchurch is doing currently, guys. That and growing tits. That's all I can tell you. All right, on to Bort. So, Bort's apparently accidentally went live naked. I'd like to say I was making this up. If you have small children in the room, avert your eyes. Bort went live naked. I can't play the copyright music. That's funny, though. He rubs himself for a little bit. Oh. Damn, he's dragging a wagon. Look at that. Oh, that's a love handle. I'm sorry. My bad. It's a love handle. What you doing, Bort?
The power of Christ compels you to give little Bert a little kiss.
Give little Bert a little kiss. Whole lot of love in them handles. Also, you should have a doctor look at that. That melanoma? Or cat shit? What is that? Irregular edges? Blotchy? Growing? I don't know. And then, after he was live, he's sitting there on his show and opens up his browser, and this pops up. I don't know if you can tell what's going on in the background. Nope, he was naked. This pops up. So apparently this cute couple on a bench, RFK MAGA military chow hall. Okay. What's going on? Oh, God. What's going on down here, Bort? What are you watching? This pops up. There's two women bent over a bed. What the fuck are you watching, dude? He's holding a stack of dynamite, getting ready to blow these pussies apart or something. You thought she was the good girl. Now look what she's doing. Good girl. Very strange actions from Bort tonight. This is what it looked like when he was live on a cell phone. He forgot his camera was on. He was down here in the bottom just hanging out naked. Bortrude. I'm flabbergasted. Wild, dude. What are you doing? Is that how you get Edith T to come back for more? Bort? Look. Bort. Yeah, they're wearing underwear. It's just an ass. I don't think putting in chat, like, can you show that on YouTube helps any, but whatever. I don't know. Bort's doing Bort things, I guess. Pretty fucking crazy if you ask me, but. All right, local news. Check this out. So we've got our own flock cameras, and it's kind of under this thing called, I think it's called Safe. Well, this is Johnson City. This is the next town over, but it's called like Safe JC or something like that. And it says how JCPD, Johnson City Police Department, which is a local police department to me, naked, is using the flock surveillance network in our town. Searches performed by JCPD officers, it would be hard to say that. JCPD officers reveal the capabilities and limitations of the flock system. Launched in 2025, Flock's freeform search allows police officers to search for vehicles and people as if they were searching Google. Flock uses AI to catalog and search the millions of images and videos it captures every day. So they could type in man in red truck or red F-150 with damage, something like that. And AI would try to go through those photos and videos and find those images. In Johnson City, officers have searched for vehicles, bicycles, people, and more. Flock currently blocks certain search terms, but a feature update can quickly change that. These searches blow a hole in the just reading license plates argument frequently encountered online and in public forums when arguing against Flock invasive technology. The people in my town are so fucking stupid. They're like, well, if you're not doing anything illegal, why are you worried? They're just reading license plates. The basics of freeform searches. The basics of freeform searches have already been uncovered, or have already been covered by 404 Media, frustratingly a day after we received audit logs from the JCPD and started working on this story, and we highly recommend reading their coverage of how Flock searches work. In short, freeform searches allow police officers to use a Flock system as if it were Google. Officers can type in an item description of what they're looking for, and Flock's AI will scan hundreds of thousands of images and video clips to find matching results. Digging into the searches performed on Johnson City's Flock system, three things immediately jumped out. Freeform searches are often very vague. Officers seem to search as few details as possible and expand their searches out to more cameras or add more details until they get what they want. 2. Flock does have one safeguard in place. Searches that include descriptions of race get blocked. But that does not stop officers from trying to search them. Block searches are always followed up by identical searches with the race descriptors removed. 3, it's not just pictures of license plates. Vague searches. Officers frequently use freeform searches to look for very vague descriptions of vehicles and people. Oftentimes, the searches are performed across multiple flock systems, presumably a combination of city and private HOA businesses, cameras. Digging into these searches show how, at an officer level, police departments utilize cutting-edge surveillance system. Oh, sorry. I got an alert. On April 23rd, 2026, a JCPD officer used the 200-plus cameras in Johnson City to search for wheelbarrow twice. The first search targeted vehicles, and the second search targeted people. The listed reason for the search was larceny theft. So I hope whoever had a wheelbarrow stolen on April 23rd got it back, since every single person and vehicle with a wheelbarrow in Johnson City got swept up in this search. On April 1st, 2026, an officer searched for a white Toyota Camry twice. The listed reason was alcohol offenses, non-DUI, and did not have a case number included in the search. On June 16th, an officer began a long series of searches for a pickup truck, large pickup truck hauling trailer, large pickup truck hauling trailer, pickup truck with lights on roof, and pickup truck with lights on roof hauling trailer. Thankfully, all of those searches had a case number attached, saving me time and sanity. As the searches progressed through the month of June, the officer eventually found and searched for a license plate number, but only after about a dozen searches involving trucks with trailers. So this is just showing how everybody kind of gets swept up in it, even if you're not doing anything wrong. April 30th, 2026, an officer searched white SUV and did not include a case number. On May 4th, 2026, an officer searched black Dodge Ram and black Ford F-150 within a minute of each other and did not include a case number. Both search reasons were listed as traffic infraction, evading arrest. I guess all big trucks kind of look the same nowadays. On May 18th, 2026, an officer searched for Toyota Tundra and did not include a case number. On April 14th, an officer searched for Centerville police car and listed the reason as driving under the influence and attached a case number. I think I made enough of a point here. When officers are handed a search tool and told to use it like Google, that's what they do. Over 90 days that we have audit logs for, JCPD officers made a total of 392 freeform searches. Most were for vehicles, but there are a few searches for people that stood out. May 17, 2026, a male wearing a tan or brown baseball hat. April 7, 2026, person walking. Holy fuck. May 2nd, 2026, pedestrian. May 25th, 2026, female wearing a pink dress and red jacket. Then this one, listen to this one, also the same day, May 25, 2026, female wearing black pants and black sports bra. So I'm being such a hard ass about vague searches and Flock systems. Flock's network of security cameras, or surveillance cameras, have been used to stalk people across the country. Officers caught misusing Flock systems often hid their searches by using vague reasons for the searches or vague search terms. Flock system has also been prone to getting innocent people stopped by police, often in dangerous felony stops with guns drawn. An analysis of Oak Park, Illinois' Flock data showed about 40% of stops initiated because of Flock alerts were because of bad data. When officers are searching for a person walking or a male in brand baseball cap, every person matching that description will show up in the results. At that point, whether or not you become part of a criminal investigation or get stopped by the police is up to Flock's AI and an officer's eyesight. Flock's forbidden searches. So if Flock allows officers to search the entirety of Johnson City as if it were Google, is there anything they can't search for? It turns out there is. Flock blocks officers from conducting searches that include race. While digging through the audit logs, we found multiple examples of Flock blocking a search from being performed because it included a person's race. Flock has been open about this self-imposed limitation, but has not stopped officers from trying. More importantly, those block searches are immediately followed up by the same search, but without a race descriptor. Flock allows these follow-up searches, seemingly unaware of the search it blocked mere seconds ago. Picture below are the search performed by JCPD. Object class people with white female wearing black pants and a black sports bra. People with white female wearing black pants, black sports bra. People with female wearing blank pants and a black sports bra. People, female wearing blank pants and a sports bra. And a black sports bra. People wearing female blank pants and a black sports bra. People wearing blank pants and a black sports bra. Female wearing blank clothing. Female wearing blank clothing. Flock blocks out white female twice, but allows the sixth nearly identical follow-up to be allowed. The six of the nearly identical follow-up searches to be allowed. Vehicle. White male, white tank top, blue jeans on a bicycle, several backpacks. Male, white tank top, blue jeans on a bicycle, several backpacks. People, male, white tank top, blue jeans on a bicycle, several backpacks allowed. People, a black male on a black and green mountain bike block. A male on a black and green white bike allow. So Flock blocks race-related searches, but officers can work around that limitation by searching the exact same as minus one word. The race block just forces officers to sweep up more people in their search and manually filter out the results that aren't what they're looking for. Furthermore, when an officer searches are blocked, they're allowed to try and get blocked again, then continue searching until the system finally gives up and produces results. Flock's race block can also go away at any moment. Flock has upgraded its system's capabilities before with over-the-air updates. Most notably, Flock announced an update in 2025 that allowed all of its ALPR cameras to capture and stream video, allowing officers to search for race descriptors is one click away if police departments, Flock's largest customer base, demand this. The block will be history. It's not just pictures of license plates. All too often, Flock's defenders argue that the system is just taking pictures of license plates and isn't tracking us. Freeform searches and the extent to which they're being used to search for vehicles, people, and even wheelbarrows show that Flock is doing much more than just photographing and searching for license plates. You don't think they trained this in Palestine? You're a fucking retarded. People will see a camera and assume it can only take a picture, and to some extent that's true, but Flock has built much more than a camera. They have built a system that can aggregate hundreds of thousands of pictures every day and transform them into data that is instantly searchable. The whole of a person's movements and current location can be attained with nothing more than a few keywords. Make it stop. Flock's intrusion into our lives is neither inevitable nor permanent. Cities across the country have canceled contracts with Flock and removed their invasive technology. Even more cities have declined contracts with Flock entirely after public feedback. In Johnson City, the commission approved the 10-year, $8 million contract currently in effect. That contract has a clause that would allow the city out without penalty if funding is not allocated to pay for it. The city commission can remove funding for Flock from the budget and in surveillance state they've sunk us into. Demand that your elected officials give you your privacy back. Now, I do want to share one more thing about the Flock cameras. They ran a poll on these Flock cameras. And I want to say, is it here? In Johnson City, which is the same city we're talking about, approximately 6,000 residents participated in a public survey regarding proposed data centers and Flock cameras. According to the published results, roughly 86% of respondents said they were extremely concerned, and approximately 95% expressed high or extreme concern overall with surveillance through Flock cameras. 95% of those surveyed. It's almost impossible to get 95% of people to agree on anything. 95% said that they were either expressed high or extreme concern. So 86% was extreme. Add another 9% to that if you add high and extreme together. That's crazy. And they're still running these fucking contracts. And why the fuck is an officer searching 19 times for woman in black sports bra? Was she still a sports bra? I don't know. Kind of crazy. Trump did them bad. All right, let's do Here.
You actually gave him a presidential commendation before you left office. Wouldn't you like a do-over on that?
Trump gave Anthony Fauci a presidential what'd she say? What'd she call it?
Do-over on that? You left office. Wouldn't you like a presidential commendation?
A presidential commendation before he left office.
Wouldn't you like a do-over on that?
I don't know who gave him the commendation. I really don't know who gave him the commendation.
You did. You, as president of the United States, gave the presidential commendation. It's a presidential commendation. No one else can give it.
Presidential commendation. One went out to Mark.
Somebody probably handed him a commendation.
Of course, someone
probably just handed him a commendation and said, "This is from the president."
Of course,
El Presidente.
Who handed Dr. Fauci and others who were involved in Operation Warp Speed vaccine efforts that commendation was former President Trump himself.
You actually gave him a presidential commendation before you left office. Wouldn't you like a do-over on that?
I don't know who gave him the commendation. I really don't know who gave him the commendation.
Presidential commendation. One went out to Mark.
Somebody probably handed him a commendation.
Of course, someone who handed Dr. Fauci and others who were involved in Operation Warp Speed vaccine efforts that commendation was former President Trump himself.
You actually gave him a presidential...
We need to protect our constitutional rights. That is the primary obligation of our country.
Mean?
Well, during COVID, we completely dismantled.
At one point in this interview, RFK says, I don't know the woman's name. I can never remember it that's interviewing him. And it doesn't say here. But anyways, he says to her, "You probably don't understand this because you're not a scientist." And she says, "Neither are you." It's fucking cold as shit.
Our constitutional rights, we began censoring people in violation of the First Amendment.
But you're saying what not to do. I'm asking what to do. But I want to talk about.
That's something to do. That is the number one priority. We protect the Constitution.
Bash, yes. And a bash.
But you're talking about rights, and I'm asking about a potential public health crisis that is coming.
We need to protect our constitutional rights. That is the primary obligation of our country.
Mean?
Well, during COVID, we completely dismantled our constitutional rights. We began censoring people in violation.
You have been placing nearly all the blame on the COVID pandemic and the way that the U.S. responded to it squarely with Dr. Fauci. But of course, he worked for President Trump. Does President Trump also deserve some of the blame?
Well,
he even tries blaming the measles outbreaks on Fauci. Which Fauci did say the kids that need their 18-month MMR vaccine and don't get it, there'll probably be an outbreak later on, and kids may die from that, right? But we needed to get them back as soon as the lockdowns were lifted. We should have got them vaccinated immediately.
Did you recall wanted to end the lockdowns? I think the thing that
he also says that he's never ever advocated against the MMR vaccine.
Damage to our country was the lockdowns that shut down 3.5 million businesses in our country with no due process, no just compensation. All of our churches closed our schools, and our children are still paying the price for that. And yet we had the worst outcome of any country in the world.
How so?
We have the highest death rate from COVID of any nation on earth.
Well, let me just say, because I've heard you say that before on the death rate from COVID. It's not accurate because public health experts say that there is a combination of factors that went in.
We had the highest count, but if you go per capita, we did better than a bunch of countries, obviously.
To that, higher rates of chronic illnesses, which I know you would agree with, gaps to our healthcare system.
We have a lot of people, a big country, and a lot of people that just don't fucking listen to the government, right? Don't trust the government, don't take vaccines, don't follow any masking restrictions, fucking 6 foot of separation. They're like, fuck you, I'll get it if I want to, kind of deal.
System and misinformation about vaccines.
You just said what I said was inaccurate. What I said was accurate. We had the highest death rate from COVID of any form.
There are other countries that had higher, but
you can argue about why we had that, but nobody can tell you. I mean, we have, as you say, we have the highest chronic disease burden in the world. But Anthony Fauci was mismanaging the COVID pandemic and was doing it under the Biden administration. President Trump wanted to end the lockdowns. And in fact, in Anthony Fauci's diaries, he talks about how President Trump is calling him every day, trying to get him to reopen the country.
Yeah, well,
he didn't close the country. Governors did. Yeah.
I mean, certainly Anthony Fauci and the president had opinions, but the lockdowns were done by governors, and largely because
they left it up to each state.
Because they were hearing from hospitals saying that their ICUs were overrun and they needed some help while that was happening.
Well, that's not true. And it's just not true. What you're saying is not true. No, they were doing it because Anthony Fauci was telling them from the top, you need to lock down. There were ICUs that were empty all over the country, including in New York at the height.
I'm asking you, I'm going to go back to what I asked you at the beginning, which is President Trump. And he was the guy in charge. And you tweeted back in 2024 that he let bureaucrats like Anthony Fauci shut down the entire country. Again, the president was in charge.
The president was trying to reopen the country when he left.
He could have.
It was kept closed for another year, almost a year and a half after that.
Let's talk about how to prevent the next pandemic, because there's a lot of litigating.
He could have went on and said, open the fucking country. Every governor, open your country up. Let's go.
I don't think is really helpful to do with regard to COVID. And the question is about...
he didn't want to make the decision because he knew that a lot of people could die from it and it would be stuck on him heading into re-election. So instead, he's like, I'll just leave it up to everybody individual. He did not want to make a decision.
Which, for people who aren't entirely clear about it, it is a highly risky research process that includes manipulating a virus to study how it behaves as it evolves. Now, what scientists say is that although it's controversial, it's necessary to prepare for the next pandemic, to get ahead of it, to figure out what these viruses can do. You want to end this gain of function.
Well, if there's no humans, there's more room for data centers.
Guardrails around it.
People have been trying to put guardrails around it for generations, and it hasn't worked. And clearly, COVID-19 pandemic and many other global pandemics that we have come from gain-of-function research. The RSV epidemic that we have, that is the biggest killer of kids in this country today, came from these kind of experiments. The Lyme disease almost certainly came from this kind of research. So,
ask him about all the kids he killed in Samoa.
And the scientists who you say are experts are making the argument that this is necessary for pandemic response cannot point to one instance in history where research that came out of this kind of experimentation has actually provided us something beneficial.
So how do you prepare then? How do you prepare for the next pandemic? I mean, that's literally part of your job now, because experts think it's going to happen within the next 10 years again.
Yeah, I mean, I think we did virtually everything wrong the last time.
So what about now?
The principal thing that we need to do is we need to listen to what's happening to doctors on the ground. There are 15 million frontline physicians around the world. They're mainly now connected through the internet. We can tell on the front lines what's working and what's not. If we had listened to those doctors during the COVID pandemic, we would have saved potentially millions of lives. There were therapeutics out there that were working. There were doctors that were having no deaths from COVID and treating, in some cases, thousands of patients. And we weren't listening to them. Instead, we were doing the opposite. We were shutting them down.
So all the videos that you see of like empty hospitals or whatever were like the non-COVID areas, right? The COVID was overrunning hospitals almost every major city. They had non-COVID areas that they didn't allow anybody that even was suspected of COVID to be in there, and they canceled all their elective shit. Anything elective was just canceled. That's why you see that. But they would grab any video they could and say, look how empty it is here.
And then, Dana, the other thing that I would say is that we need to protect our constitutional rights. That is the primary obligation.
What does that mean?
How do we prepare for the next epidemic? Protect our constitutional rights. That's what we do.
Dismantled our constitutional rights. We began censoring people in violation of the First Amendment.
But you're saying what not to do. I'm asking what to do. But I want to talk about...
That's something to do. That is the number one priority. We protect the Constitution. The Constitution was written...
Forgive me, but you're talking about rights, and I'm asking about a potential public health crisis that is coming. But I do want to...
And one of the mistakes we made in the last time was suppressing those rights so people weren't being heard. The doctors who were saying you're doing it wrong were being marginalized and vilified.
Yeah,
and
because again, I really want to move on. But
yeah,
you were saying
you were part of the problem.
No, I wasn't part of the problem.
There was absolute press malpractice. You weren't allowing your
Mr. Secretary,
your job is a fierce skepticism toward authority, and you weren't doing that. You were beating
my
up
job
people
is also
who were dissenting.
No, okay. Are you want to sit here and attack me, or do you want to have conversations about public health? I'm not attacking you. I'm asking questions about how to prevent the next pandemic.
And I'll tell you.
That's what I'm trying to do. But I also don't want to use this interview to allow you to say things that aren't entirely true. You're talking about therapeutics, fine. It is also factually true that the COVID vaccine worked. The COVID vaccine prevented deaths. There is data upon data upon data. Let's talk about the measles, please, because this is something that is happening as we speak. Cases in the U.S.
vaccine protected children.
I think that what I have talked to scientists and doctors about.
Scientists, can you show me one study?
Yes, I can.
That shows that children were protected by the COVID vaccine.
I can tell you that there are.
That vaccine did more good than harm to children. Can you show me one study that shows that?
I can tell you that when it comes to the vaccine, there have been studies that show that because of vaccine disinformation, there could have been 100 to 200,000 lives in the U.S. saved. But because people didn't get the vaccine, that's why. I'm not saying that it entirely.
You are saying nonsense. You are saying something that you cannot show me a single study.
I am not saying nonsense. I am
talking what
Excuse
somebody
me.
told you.
Excuse me.
And you
Let me
cite me the study.
What study? No, what studies are you talking?
Efficacy rates around 76% for young children and 56% for older youth.
About. You're talking about studies that actually don't exist. I want to talk about.
Cite me the study that you're talking.
9 months to 4 years old is the 76% compared to unvaccinated children, and that's from the Centers for Disease Control.
Cite me the study.
This is not productive. I am not here to defend all of the.
You're talking nonsense. You're making assertions you can't support, and then when I call you on them, you're telling me I'm arguing.
Okay, do you want to talk about assertions that you can't support? I'll get there in a second. Let me just say, for the record, that I am not saying that the entire way that the COVID reaction was accurate. It was a scary time, and people made mistakes. Absolutely.
You were scaring people.
Why are you saying that?
Because that was the job of CNN.
Okay.
Was to put the chyrons up about how many people are.
We were trying to. We were listening to the leaders in this country, including the president, who had a daily press conference explaining what was going on and trying to listen.
Were you listening?
I want to talk to the measles.
Actually, were you reading the science yourself?
The measles cases in the U.S. just reached a 35-year high. The second
very confrontational
record-breaking year in a row. 93% of these cases are among the unvaccinated. The outbreak is happening on your watch. And even before becoming HHS secretary, for years, you have been one of the leading voices questioning the efficacy of vaccines. Do you accept some responsibility for this measles outbreak?
Absolutely not. First of all, this is an international outbreak. So, and we're doing better at handling it than any country in the world. Mexico has 15 times the amount of measles per capita that we have. Canada has 4 times the amount of measles. England has 2 times the amount of measles. Did I cause those measles outbreaks?
You're the most famous.
Did I cause 137,000 cases?
You're the most famous vaccine skeptic on the planet.
Let me tell you, because actually Anthony Fauci in his diaries answers the question about why we're having a measles outbreak right now. The reason we're having a measles outbreak is because of the COVID lockdowns, because people didn't, like children during that period, did not get vaccinated. And in his diaries, he says this is going to cause massive outbreaks of measles, and more children, he says this, are going to die. Let me finish, because you accused me of something. Now, let me.
No, I didn't. I asked you a question.
Yeah, let me give you the answer. He says in his diaries, more children are going to die from measles because of these lockdowns than COVID. So if you want to know, and that age group that should have got the MMR when they were 18 months and didn't get it, they're the ones being infected. The people in this country, and we have stopped the outbreaks at record speed in South Carolina, in Texas, in Utah, in Virginia. Better than any country in the world. I dispatch immediately the epidemic intelligence services to those states. I get on the phone with the governor and we stop them in their tracks. Nobody else has been able to do that.
You have a bully pulpit.
Let me tell you just one last thing.
Go ahead.
The communities that are suffering from measles are almost all religious communities that just don't vaccinate. The Mennonites have not vaccinated since 1796.
But COVID wasn't bullshit. It was incredibly deadly for anybody with comorbidities.
Since Edward Jenner
it was bad for healthy people.
The smallpox vaccine, it's hard to blame that. I mean, as much as you want to blame.
No, I don't want to blame you. I'm asking.
It is an argument for the measles vaccine. These kids didn't get it, so now they get. But they should have been. We should have heavily influenced efforts to get them vaccinated as soon as lockdowns were lifted.
You, because you have a very powerful voice on these issues for people who are skeptical. Let me finish.
I've never questioned the efficacy of the MMR vaccine.
Okay, let me finish.
Never.
What I want you to do is please use your bully pulpit to right now, as we're getting close to back to school, say, are you willing to say to parents who have not vaccinated their kids that they should vaccinate their kids for measles because it is safe and it will help them save their children's lives?
Yes. Now they're deciding not to vaccinate. When they should have vaccinated, there probably wouldn't have been an issue. I'd say 90+% of those kids would have already been vaccinated. Instead, we had all this shit blow up, and now they're like, I don't know if we should even do vaccines. I saw some dumb bitch the other day, a local woman on my Facebook page saying, oh, you guys know anything about daycares that accept all unvaccinated children? My kids are purebloods.
We tell people on my websites, my public
right now, look at the camera,
that parents should get their children vaccinated for measles. The measles vaccine is effective. It stops measles in about 97% of the cases. So people should get vaccinated.
Can I ask you, the Wall Street Journal reported that the president is pressuring you to conduct studies probing the link between vaccines and autism. Is that true?
Did you say probing the link?
I'm just quoting the Wall Street Journal, that the president wants you to go further to probe the link between autism and vaccines.
He certainly does.
Okay. Now, have you talked to him about medical research that have studied this for 25 years and found no link between autism and vaccines? And just this.
He's definitely called out the MMR vaccine. I've heard him call out the MMR vaccine.
My question here, because I don't want to litigate that. My question is, why not, because you are HHS secretary now, why not study what could cause autism, which scientists do believe starts with fetal brain development? Why not do some studies on that, whether you're an environmental lawyer, whether there are environmental factors that go into contributing to a predisposed genetic situation?
Well, let me say this first. We're doing all those things, and that's one of the ways that we found Tylenol. There's 73 studies out there that link Tylenol exposure during later pregnancy and during the perinatal period to autism onset. But You are wrong when you say that this issue has been studied. It has been studied, and you're rolling your eyes. But
I am, because I don't want to have you use our air to say this. There have been more than 40 studies involving 5.6 million people to conclude there is no link between vaccines and autism. This is the head of the Committee of Infectious Diseases for the American Academy of Pediatrics.
Now let me tell you what the Institute of Medicine says, which is the National Academy of Sciences, which is the ultimate arbiter on vaccine safety, and which it does not have an interest in this debate. It says that none of the 8 vaccines that are administered during the first 6 months of life have ever been studied for relationship to autism. It found 2 studies, one on the DTP vaccine that showed that it does cause autism, and one on the hepatitis B vaccine that again suggests that it does cause autism. The Institute of Medicine dismissed those 2 studies because
they just don't exist.
CDC's database. The studies that you're referring to are all for one vaccine, the MMR vaccine, or one ingredient, thimerosal.
So you are actually looking at, you're starting new studies to try to link autism, but you're also
I'm not trying to link autism to anything. I'm trying to find out why is autism.
Are you also trying to find out how it interacts with people's DNA, what's predisposed to have an autistic child? Are you doing both?
Yeah, but Dana, you probably don't understand this because you're not a scientist. But
well, you're not either.
Genes.
Ooh, there it is.
To have an autistic child, are you doing both?
Yeah, but Dana,
get his ass.
Don't understand this because you're not a scientist. But
well, you're not either.
Genes don't cause.
That sucks. You got lung scarring from coughing and shit. But like basically, if you got any of the COVID vaccine and had antibodies still, you would have had a lot tougher time with COVID without it.
Child, are you doing both?
Yeah, but Dana, you probably don't understand this because you're not a scientist. But
well, you're not either.
Genes don't cause epidemics.
I understand. Genes,
they provide a vulnerability.
A gene provides environmental. That's what I'm asking. Are you studying the environmental?
We're looking at all the different environmental exposures. But your statement, you have been fooled. Your statement that this has been studied is not true. It's categorically not true. Any of the studies.
It is considered.
Considered by who?
By every scientist who has studied this.
That is not true. I can give you hundreds of scientists who have looked at this.
So on the one hand, do you understand why people aren't getting...
Academy of Sciences. What greater authority
do you understand why people are not getting measles vaccines? Because they're hearing you say that it could cause...
You're trying to change the subject.
I'm not. It's very much related.
Show me one of the studies that's been done on the first 8 the vaccines during the first 6 months of life. You will not find them. The National Academy of Sciences.
So if that's the case, why are you telling people to get the measles vaccine?
Because that is one of the vaccines that has been studied.
Okay.
It's the only one that has been studied.
Do you want people to get the MMR vaccine?
Yeah, I said that already.
Okay, so
I know you're flustered now, and it is.
I'm not frustrated at all. I am frustrated. The reason I'm frustrated is because you are the HHS secretary, and you are talking about things that lead to vaccine hesitancy in this country, and it is something that causes problems for people when there is not anything.
Let me ask you something. Do you see your job as ending vaccine hesitancy, or do you see your job as telling the truth to the American people?
I see my job as telling the truth, and the truth is that there is study after study after study. It's one of the most studied things out there in science.
You're repeating it like a parrot. You're repeating it like a parrot. I've actually read the science.
I've actually read that. You didn't go fucking do it. Both you guys are repeating. Like, that's the only thing you're doing. You're just repeating your side of the argument, which has way less fucking data to back it up.
You don't want to here and debate this.
I'm not debating this with you.
Of course you won't.
No, because I'm not debating.
All you know how to do is repeat things that people told you and say, trust the experts. That's what you did during COVID. Now we know that Anthony Fauci, who was the expert, was lying about everything, about masks, about social distancing, about natural immunity, about the transmission from the vaccine, about the source of COVID. He was lying, and you were punishing people for not trusting the experts. And now you're rolling out the experts again to talk about something that you have no personal knowledge of.
Okay, well, guess what? That is my job, to talk to people.
Your job is to tell the truth to the American public.
Yes, and my job is to get as much information as I can. And what we were doing in COVID and still with regard to these vaccines is getting the best information, the best science that we can, and putting it out there. And sir, what you are doing is causing information to be out there that is not accurate.
Who was lying to
you? The National Academy of Sciences, which you just cited in November, said we support the statement that vaccines do not cause autism. This is the National Academy of Sciences that you just talked about.
Look at the National Academy of Science's most recent report.
Okay.
And you'll see.
I want to ask you one other question, because it's something that really did help Donald Trump get elected, and that is the MAHA movement, and specifically the question of processed foods.
Of what?
Processed foods, and the fact that people want to feel that their food is safe. My understanding is that you're pushing for reforms on food safety and ultra-processed foods that have been slowed, in some cases blocked, by people in the administration who are working on behalf of the industry. Is that true?
So I just caught him in a lie. Super fucking easy with Google. So DTaP. Okay, DTaP is one of the diphtheria, tetanus, pertussis. DTaP is you get a shot at 2 months, you get a shot at 4 months, you get a shot at 6 months. So in the first 6 months of life, you get 3 of those shots. Okay, he said none of the ones that you get in the first 6 months of life have ever been studied. Well, here it is. In a separate analysis of the VSD data, Greer and Greer conducted a study and examined the relationship between thimerosal containing DTP vaccines and autism. Children were included if they received all 4 doses of DTaP vaccine. These inclusion criteria were used to limit the possibility of differences in health-seeking behavior and ensure that children were not old enough to be diagnosed with an NDD. Overall, 28,056 children received thimerosal-free DTaP vaccines. 55,335 children were thimerosal-free, and then they used about 30,856 children as a control. The authors analyzed both inpatient and outpatient diagnosis and discarded duplicate cases and only included children with ICD-9 299 autistic disorder diagnosis. Incident rate was the same across all groups. About a 9.6 relative risk of autism, or 3.04 per 100,000 children. They found a hypersensitivity related risk of 1.8, about 26 per 10,000 children. Sorry, I'm skimming through like 800 fucking paragraphs right now.
No, that is not true.
So you feel that you'll be able to get these reforms done without any problems?
I think the GRAS, the 2 big reforms that you're probably talking about is ultra-processed food definition and the GRAS standards.
Yes.
And they both
I think it has nothing. I mean, you're more than welcome to spread them out if you want to. You're just going to have younger kids getting sicker earlier and dying, but it has nothing. Autism has nothing to do with vaccines or fucking circumcision or fucking Tylenol.
It's gone through extensive interagency process. I'm very confident that we will get them both out there within probably a month.
Well, I'm sorry that this, and that's good news for people who are very moms, and I'm one of them, who are very worried about making sure that our kids eat food and we eat food that is healthy. I'm sorry that this turned into a very contentious conversation, and my job is to try to get the best information out there, and it does concern me.
He always sounds bad.
You come in and say things that have, I take what you're saying have been just, people who have science.
The fact that he's going to say, well, you probably don't understand this because you're not a scientist is so fucking demeaning. The fact that he's not a fucking scientist, you know what I mean? Like he doesn't have any fucking special, he's an EPA lawyer.
Scientific backgrounds, and who I know have tried to talk to you as well. Thank you for coming in.
Oh, let's see if I can find this. Hold on.
Mr. Cardone, you of course reviewed the offering circulars that you signed and submitted to the.
Pause, you piece of shit. I'm watching the Grant Cardone deposition. This one.
Look, we all know Donald Trump doesn't have a whole lot of interest in the minutia, the details, the importance of public policy. But when it comes to the stuff he really cares about, well, like his pet projects, his businesses, the stuff that he gets, money from, that puts more money in his pocket, Trump becomes the ultimate micromanager. Now, let me tell you just a little story. Come in a little close. A long time ago, I was in a meeting with Donald Trump. And at one point, Ivanka Trump walked in with options for different paint colors for the bathroom walls of one of his hotels. Guess what happened? Trump stopped the meeting for a full 15 minutes as he looked through the different colors before settling on the one he liked. And folks, you better believe that was the color they used for those bathrooms. Now, I was thinking about that meeting today when I read this story from the Wall Street Journal about the fundraising operations Trump is micromanaging from inside the White House. They report that, quote, almost every night in the White House, President Trump calls his fundraiser Meredith O'Rourke for an update. Trump asks O'Rourke which companies and donors have cut checks and which haven't, and for how much. He often asks her to make much larger financial requests than she was planning. For some donors, the ask is $5 million. For others, it is $50 million. And the president gives her names to call, often including people who have recently met with him, according to people with knowledge of the calls. Now, even a president who's up for re-election should not be that intimately involved in his own fundraising operation. As a candidate, I can tell you I wasn't, and we were raising some good money.
He's extorting people. They come to the White House to say something, request something, consult on something. Then he waits a couple weeks and calls them, asks them for a big donation. If they make the donation, they get whatever they requested, and if they don't, they don't.
And Donald Trump is not up for re-election as well. He's in his second term as president. He has no more campaigns to run. But the man is still taking time out of his day, a lot of time, to make sure that some of America's richest people and corporations are giving him money that he can play with. According to the Wall Street Journal, SoftBank donated $50 million towards Trump's presidential library. Apple cut a check for around $25 million towards his White House ballroom project, while Microsoft gave around $10 million and Amazon chipped in around $5 million, according to people familiar with the contributions. That's almost $100 million just right there. Meta Platforms recently gave $10 million to a Trump-aligned political committee, people familiar said, on top of a multi-million-dollar donation to the ballroom and a prior $22 million payment to the planned presidential library. As the Journal notes, no sitting American president has ever raised these amounts for his pet projects. And what are those companies getting in return for all that money that Trump is meticulously keeping track of? Well, I think this anecdote tells you everything you need to know on that front. In May, Trump held a meeting with tobacco executives at his Florida golf club. Okay. His fundraiser, Meredith O'Rourke, who is not a government employee, sat in on the meeting. Trump took in millions of dollars in contributions from those companies for his political committees. And shortly after that meeting, Trump's FDA lifted restrictions on flavored vaping products, just what those companies had been asking for. Now, I know what you're thinking. I know where you're going with this. That sounds like a textbook case of corruption. Big Tobacco gives the president money, and then his administration lifts restrictions on the products they sell, the ones that get kids hooked on nicotine. Surely there has never been a more blatant example of apparent corruption, right? Well, hold on to your hats just a little bit longer.
Yeah, I get the emails too. I like there's an old lady that reads them on TikTok. She's pretty funny.
This is what Donald Trump calls the Freedom 250 ring. It's about the size of...
He's making his own Super Bowl ring.
A watch, and it's from the Antwerp World Diamond Center in Belgium. It was presented in a big ceremony in Brussels as a gift to President Trump in June. Now, I mean, folks, listen, they put on a big show to really hype this thing up. And folks, it's pretty
make him feel like he's a winner. He's so concerned with how people feel about him.
Clear that a lot of thought and effort and attention and care went into making this ring. It has a handcrafted presidential seal and other intricate details in 18-karat gold, baby. And it is encrusted with a whole lot of gemstones. I mean, this massive ring, you ready? Has 321 diamonds in it, 56 sapphires, 13 emeralds, and 6 rubies. A little short on the rubies, I think. And while it was designed for America's anniversary, you know, that little birthday party that we had for ourselves, it's inscribed with the numbers 45 and 47, representing Donald Trump's 2 terms. It also has a giant T made out of diamonds on the side of it. Not only that, oh, there's more, but the engraving on the interior of the ring reportedly says that it was, quote, crafted in Antwerp for Donald John Trump, end quote. So this diamond group clearly gave Trump a pretty serious gift, personal gift to Donald Trump. And when you know it, just a few weeks later, Europe's diamond industry got some special treatment from President Trump. As the New York Times reports, natural diamonds, like the ones used in that ring, have been exempted from Trump's latest round of tariffs. Oh, really? The move follows months of sustained advocacy by that diamond group in Antwerp, which dominates the global industry. So now that ring started to make a little bit more sense. Now, look, we don't know for sure that that lavish gift was the reason Trump just happened to make a carve out for the diamond industry and all those tariffs he was imposing. But we do know that the best way to get Trump's attention is with something that is gold and shiny and has his name on it. And I'm guessing that those European diamond merchants understood what I learned about Donald Trump so many years ago. When it comes to his ego, no detail is too small. Joining me now is Texas Congressman Greg Pizarro. He's a member of the House Oversight Committee, and he's been one of the most outspoken members of Congress on all of these issues. The corruption, Congressman, welcome, is absolutely mind-bogglingly astounding. It seems to be getting more and more cartoonish at the same time, but it is serious. So you can go where you want to go, Congressman. You can go with the ring. You can go with the special treatment, the meetings, the donations, the contribute. Where do you want to go? Because it's all.
Well, look, I mean, people
crazy.
in this country know politics is corrupt, but when you hear this, it sounds like the White House is beyond comically and disgustingly corrupt. It's hard to know what to make of it. But what we need to talk a lot more about is that you are paying for this corruption, Michael.
Yes.
Every single person in this country is paying for the corruption. It's not just fun and games here. So as you pointed out, a European diamond company gives Donald Trump a ring with 321 diamonds on it. I don't know how you fit 321 diamonds and 6 rubies on a damn ring, but they did. They gave it to him. They get tariff relief while the rest of America is still paying extra for your groceries. So you're paying for the corruption. Lockheed Martin gives Donald Trump millions of dollars for his White House helipad. And next thing you know, they get a huge contract.
By the way, they didn't even know they were paying for it. Donald Trump's just like, they're going to pay for it because they didn't tell us how powerful the engines were on the helicopter and it's messing up our grass. And they're like, we are? Oh, okay.
for the Iran war. Those are your taxpayer dollars. You're paying for it. OpenAI gives a bunch of money to Donald Trump. Lo and behold, they get no regulations on their AI while they threaten to take away millions of Americans' jobs. You're paying for it. So this corruption, it's comical, it's sad, it's disturbing, it should be criminal. But at the end of the day, it's taking your taxpayer money, it's jacking up your prices, it's threatening your job.
Insane, dude. He doesn't even care anymore. It's like he's fucking, he owns all the systems. He's just daring people to come after him. I want to watch something funny. One of my favorite creators finally came out with a new video. Let's watch it. The breakdown of Micah Bell. So this is the guy that uses the mods in RDR2, Red Dead Redemption 2, to make these guys attack him and explode. But he always has a pretty cool spin on it. Let's check it out. His name's the Polka Cowboy. He's one of my favorite content creators. He also does that series, The Goodest Boy in the West, where he tries to beat the game without killing anybody. These big fat guys chase him everywhere he goes. Then they explode.
So it's been a few days since Arthur broke the office funny man Micah Bell out of the Strawberry Jail after he got locked up for telling a yo mama joke that really wasn't well received. And as we saw, Micah wasn't ready to return yet until he had some time alone to clear his head and perfect that yo mama joke. Well, the time appeared to be now, as Arthur received a meeting request from Micah through the office's horse email, and an off-site meeting request nonetheless. But that was fine. Arthur was looking forward to some relaxing time in the saddle to catch a few moments where he didn't have to think about work and could try to study some ducks or something. But soon enough, that little bit of freedom was over, and he had reached Micah's off-site conference room. Arthur prepped himself, ready to laugh out loud at the best goddamn yo mama joke ever told this side of the Mississippi as he walked into that space. But that wasn't going to happen, as instead he found a sad boy Micah Bell who felt moodier than his usual lighthearted self. This Micah was on the verge of breaking and felt if he had any hope of staying afloat, then he would have to confide in Arthur his greatest secret. See, the truth of office funny man Micah Bell is that he wasn't naturally funny. All those silly jokes and knee-slapping goofabouts he had told around the camp? Yeah, for the life of himself, Micah couldn't come up with a good joke on his own. This nature retreat was his last attempt at finding the inspiration to write his own material, and once again, he had failed. But he trusted Arthur with this secret and had a contingency plan that was just too big for himself. See, like clockwork, one of the finest purveyors of the latest, freshest yo mama jokes in all the country would ride a stagecoach through these parts to seed the jokes at all the major comedy clubs in places like Blackwater and Saint Denis. Micah figured if he could intercept this batch of jokes before they hit the stage, then for
there's a lot of thought into
the origin points of this comedy, and it would be everyone else who would feel like
everybody hates Micah.
The plan was perfect. Arthur didn't really funny guy. He just wanted the humor back in the camp, so he obliged to help. So the first thing they needed to do was to ride out and find this stagecoach to rob. And of course, whenever Arthur decides to help someone on the team, that demon Bray begins his haunting.
Can't exactly stay in town now, can I? Like I told you. What the hell are you doing?
Now, trying to kick the prick while on horseback didn't seem to work, so it was back to the old tried and true plan of yeeting him off the nearest cliff. There's a perfectly good cliff here to do some throwing. I gotta use that. Oh no! That was not intended.
Crap.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, Jesus. How long is this run gonna be to get back up to my horse? Can I go up over here? No. Let's slide into the loving embrace of the Bray. I zigged my zag back to my horse, and then soon realized we were kind of in a forced slow trot zone.
What the hell, Morgan?
He's gonna keep getting thrown off over and over.
Men, guns, riders. What's the problem now?
You can't spread once you've already got it. That's not true. It's a wives' tale.
Anyway, what you was talking.
Once the oil's gone, it's gone. You can't. That's an old wives' tale. I used to believe it.
I heard the bank's been hiring every trigger man they can get.
Just keeps pulling him off the horse.
Forward toward the goal until. Oops.
Oh no. Oh no. Oh fuck.
Now, my expectation was that the Bray wouldn't have much impact in the first part of this mission, as Micah and Arthur were on horses, while the Bray only had his little trotters to try to keep up with. I had preemptively enabled...
It's a mod that these guys just keep... This isn't the real game, obviously.
Braytosis. So after that goof up, I now have 2 Brays to deal with.
Oh no, every time he dies, there's another one.
Able to get away without being touched a single time by a single Bray.
Look at him chasing him.
Any minute. We found the stagecoach full of those yo...
look, they're in the cutscenes too.
As I had expected, the Brays weren't able to really interfere with the fast, horse-bound action of the first part of this mission.
There's one. They're everywhere.
No dead eye. Look at that. Like a pro.
Shot.
They quit. Fight at least. Yeah! Hang on! Come on, boy!
But once we had secured the coach and the Driscoll tech had disabled it, we were all back on the same footing and ready for some proper chaos. Get him! Micah, you gonna kill him?
Damn it. Exploded.
Oh, just keep your head down. Let's finish it.
Nice boom. I like it.
Mariah gave me this weird calamine looking lotion or whatever, but it's like mentholated or something. I put it around my eyes. God damn, it burnt my eyes. It didn't bother my arms, but it burnt the shit out of my fucking, like, the skin underneath my eyes. Put it on this morning.
I don't want to fall in the fire. Wait, no. Uh-oh. Is he going down? Oh! Oh boy, here they come.
Oh, look at all the braids. Those fat guys chased him.
That one's bleeding to death.
He's still got to finish the missions.
Yes.
Mariah's been on the airdrop. She says she thinks he's getting better. Hopefully.
Oh, no, my repeater.
Fatties are beating everybody up.
I need more health tonics is what I need.
That series, The Goodest Boy in the West, is really fucking good, where he tries to beat every mission without killing anybody, unless he absolutely has to. Like, he moves furniture around to, like, block people. Like, he'll shoot furniture until it's, like, in a certain spot and try to block people. It's just crazy. It's so much fun. You should play it. You can't be embarrassed. You're by yourself. Like, it's not... Some people play online, but it's not very fun. Like, the story is just a masterpiece.
Why did I do that?
I wish I wouldn't have rushed through it as quick as I did, because I like to fucking, like, boom, 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 just keep doing missions and shit. I can't put it down.
I was looking for an Driscoll to pop.
And even when I did it and did all the side missions that I saw, I still only completed like 80% of the game. There's like another 20% I never even fucked with. Uh-oh. New Bray.
Look out when it explodes. Thanks for the warning. Oh shit, he killed another one. No. Oh, thank you. Yes, the explosion got me out of the fight. No, not that fight.
Ah.
Sorry, horse, but you're in a Driscoll.
He headshotted the horse.
Oh, yes. Oh, fuck yeah, that was great. What good timing of that button. Holy shit, that was cinematic AF.
It's so much fun.
Is that it? No, he's not dead. No! Who's left? Oh, I hear a panic over there. Oh, Micah, watch yourself. Is that it? That's it.
Music's changing.
Coach, man, it clearly ain't going nowhere now.
And that was that.
Look at him in the cutscenes, just standing there.
Was finally able to crack open that strongbox and acquire the freshest Yo Mama jokes in the country. But no time to review them now.
He's been doing this series forever, and he's only made it, I mean, probably a third of the way, maybe through the game, maybe less than that.
Micah left, leaving Arthur alone.
Yeah, definitely less than that if you include the second part with John.
To do some mild cleanup before ending the work week. Oh, you guys not running? He's stuck in the water? He's stuck in the cutscene? Oh, I suppose I better turn this off or else it's just gonna keep happening. Oh.
They're just flying everywhere, dude.
Oh!
All right, guys, that's the Polka Cowboy. Thanks for hanging out with me. Thanks for listening to me, bitch, I guess. Flock cameras, Donald Trump, everything else. I appreciate you guys hanging out. Thank you for joining me. I'm going to hop off here and probably go put on some anti-itch cream and go to bed. Thank you, guys. Again, we'll see you about the next one. If my eye's not swelled shut, I'll be live tomorrow. We'll see. I feel like it's at the point where it's not going to get any worse. It's starting to get better, but you never know. Fuck, it might show up 3 days from now. Thank you guys. Everybody have a good night. We'll see you in the next one. Let's see. Bye. Welcome, Bort. Saw your show ended, so I'm sure you're already here. I wonder if he's closed this time.
You don't have
He needs to put some fucking clothes on. Damn. At least before he goes live.
by name and tell them exactly who they are and tell them the rest of the world who they are. You don't have the forking balls. You don't have the balls.
Okay, Scott.
Here we go, I think I started some shit. Listen off, it's about to get lit. Get the place in the best, you know that stage is set. You better buckle up, cause you ain't seen none yet. Here we go, I think I started some shit. Listen off, it's about to get lit. Get the place in the best, you know that stage is set. You better buckle up, cause you ain't seen none yet. And they say that I'm a lunatic. Well, listen, bitch, I came equipped with a quick wit.
DayZ's fun, but I never got into it like I did. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. Red Dead Redemption 2. Fucking amazing, dude.
Profit off of gossip.
Works of art. Masterpieces.
For a throat deposit, swinging fucking
have a good night.
Like four in a thong. He's strapped to the shaft, eating his chest like he's King Kong. Starving for attention, I'ma make your gut burst. I'll be your huckleberry, I can quench that thirst. Baby eating lizard people, alien sex. What's next? Trump in a dress, fucking Flynn on his desk. A retard in a vest, climbing up 5G towers. Cause you told him if he did, he'd get fucking superpowers. Here we go, I think I started some shit. Piss them off, it's about to get lit. Get the place in the best, you know that stage is set. You better buckle up, cause you ain't seen none yet. Here we go, I think I started some shit. Piss them off, it's about to get lit. Get the place in the best, you know that stage is set. You better buckle up, cause you ain't seen none yet. I used to find clues too when I was high on shrooms. I found myself a tunnel that led to Jason Q's bedroom. Open his closet, I found some of his meat rockets. I strapped them to my shoes and then I flew through the roof. I found myself in orbit strapped to an F-16. High on amphetamine with Trump in between. Put on a light coat of baby oil and saluted the troops. He tapped me on the shoulder and said, "This is gonna be it." Whoa, wait. Stop. What? I'll get my files. Wait, what are you doing? Stop. Hold on. Fucking stop. Dude, come on. Seriously. This arm's an alcoholic. Give me a... Oh, my God. Damn it. Here we go, I think I started some shit. Piss them off, it's about to get lit. Get the place in the best, you know that stage is set. You better buckle up, cause you ain't seen none yet. Here we go, I think I started some shit. Piss them off, it's about to get lit. Get the place in the best, you know that stage is set. You better buckle up, cause you ain't seen none yet. Round 3. Down goes Nino. Please say it isn't so. Got him backed up on the ropes, trying to ram it down his throat. Now things are getting rocking, he was doing so well. It's all over, hands on his shoulders, they ringing his bell. You got Frog News Network doing no damn research. They be working copy on Cox that came first. 9th inning, second string in the act.
Good night, guys.
No hitters, assholes throwing bullshit.